Hello, everyone. It is Mr. Schwannekamp. Welcome to Algebra 2 first semester. I know you're excited for this. So am I. Just a couple things. Again, I know you've seen on different things, but again, here is the web page. This is where you're looking at. Don't forget about these things. So up here, these are the blank notes. This is the answer key. That's what I'm going to go through right now with you. So that's what I'm going to kind of work through and talk through. If that doesn't help you, you have Khan Academy right here. Khan Academy, if you click on those links, it will take you through practice problems that are very similar to what I'm doing. So if you're not quite sure, there's more videos, there's more practice problems. And then the other thing you have here is a quizzes. This quizzes is a link that if you go to that, it'll give you problems like what we're covering today, and you can work through them and see, do you know what you're doing or not? That's not graded. So if you don't do perfect on that, that's fine. But the quick check that you're going to take, that's right here, 1.1 quick check, that is for a grade. And so by taking these practices first, that'll get your grade better. The other thing that you can do is if you send me a screenshot of your completed quizzes, you're going to get bonus points. That's a good thing. So you take that, you work through it, you do some practice, you take a screenshot and you send it to me through little messages right here. You get bonus points. So it's a really easy way to get your grade even better if you're struggling. The number one key to passing this class and to get as good of a grade as you can is watching these videos. Okay. You can watch them on 1.2 speed, but I would say that they're really important for you to do well in this class. Watch these videos. You can't learn everything just by kind of thinking what you already know. You got to learn new things. So that's what we're going to try to do today. All right. Today we are doing lesson 1.1. We are going to solve some equations. Let's see how we're doing here. Let me turn off my camera. That's scary. I apologize for that. Oh, no. All right. No, go away. All right. Well, that was exciting. Let's get to it. Here we go. I swear I get better on later videos. It's just been a while. Here we go. Our goal is to isolate the variable. So today we are solving equations. We are trying to get letters by itself. So we're solving for x or h or anything else. Okay. If we are doing that, our goal to solve for a letter, get the like terms on the same side of the equation, of the same side of the equal sign. So if I got a lot of x's, put them on one side. And then once we've done that, we're going to solve the equation by doing order of operations in reverse. Okay, and that seems weird sometimes to students, but parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract. That is orders of operations. If we are doing a problem, we do order of operations in this direction, like if we're just evaluating. But if we're solving a math problem, then we're going to do order of operations in reverse. That's what we're going to talk through today. You might be great at this already. You might not be. Let's see how we can do. All right, so solve the equation with the variable on both sides. So we look at this first. I've got a 5n and a 7n. So the first thing I'm going to do is get them on the same side. So for me, I'm going to subtract 5n. Subtract 5n. I'm moving them to the same side. So I get 11 equals 2n minus 9. I don't like these things being on different sides, so I'm going to move the numbers to the same side. I got all the letters to one side. I'm going to get all the numbers to the same side. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. That's the opposite of subtracting. If it says subtraction, the opposite is I'm going to add it. That goes away. 11 plus 9, that's 20, equals 2n. And then the last thing I need to do is I need to get n by itself. If there's more than one thing left, like here I just have this 2, it's easy. If there's more than one thing, then I would really have to think about order of operations in reverse. But this one's pretty straightforward. Right here, this 2 is multiplied by n. It is 2 times n. So if I want to get rid of the 2 times n, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying, which is dividing. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. 20 divided by 2 is 10. 10 equals n. There's my answer. Let's do it again. Letter B. First thing I do is when I look at this problem, I look at, hey, there's x's on both sides. Hey, there's numbers on both sides. So I'm going to get them to the same side first. So let's get rid of this negative 2x. I'm going to add 2x to both sides. If I do that, I get 5x plus 6 equals negative 8. Then again, I still haven't gotten rid of it. I've got these things on different sides. I want to get them to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 6. Subtract 6 because it says plus 6. The opposite of plus 6 is minus 6. Those two things will cancel. I get 5x equals negative 8 minus 6 more. Okay, negative 8 minus 6 more, that gets me negative 14. Now what do I got to get rid of? Now I got to get rid of the 5. So if it's 5 times x, what's the opposite of multiplying by x or multiplying by 5? It's dividing by 5. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. These two things cancel. X is going to be equal to negative 14 over 5. You can leave it just like that. Okay, if you got a calculator out and you want to get a decimal, you can. Take 14 divided by 5 in your calculator. You get negative 2.8. But you don't have to do that. Leaving it in fraction form is perfect. Let's keep going. Using the distributive property. Same thing here. The distributive property just means there's a number in front of parentheses like that. The first thing we're going to do is distribute those numbers. So if I look at a problem and I can distribute, I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So here, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 2 is 4. Same thing on the other side. Distribute that 3. So 3x minus 24. Once I've done that, and then it's just a matter of exactly what we did before. We look at this problem, we see, okay, we got to combine like terms. Here's a 2x there and a 3x there. Let's combine them. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. It doesn't matter which way I move it. I could have subtracted 3x instead, but I subtracted 2x. Great, so I subtracted. 3x minus 2x gets me 1x. And then, all right, well, again, I look at it and I notice, hey, here's a number. Here's a number. Let's get them on the same side. I want to get these all on the opposite side of the x. So to get rid of this negative 24, I'm going to add 24. Those two things cancel. 4 plus 24 is 28. Done. So again, we distributed, got like terms on the same side. So the 2x and 3x got them on the same side, and the 4 and the negative 24 got them on the same side. Same thing on D. We got a number in front of the parentheses, distribute it. You got this negative 2 here, distribute that. Don't forget about the negative sign. That negative sign goes with it. So negative 2 times negative x is a positive 2x. Negative 2 times 8, that's minus 16. I'm not distributing with that negative 6. It's not inside the parentheses, so it's just going to hang out over there. Then I'm going to combine like terms. So I've got a 12x and a 2x. Subtract 2x. Subtract 2x. I'm getting the x's on the same side, 10x. And then I've got all of these like terms. I've got this negative 20. I've got this negative 16. I've got that negative 6. So let me just rewrite it once. Oh, negative 16 minus 6. I can do that. Negative 16 minus 6 would get me negative 22. Still got to get this negative 20 over. So I'm going to add 20. Add 20. 10x equals negative 22 plus 20. Oh, that's negative 2. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. X equals negative 2 over 10, which we could reduce that. That's negative 1/5 or negative 0.2. Again, we distributed, then we combine like terms. Now let's solve equations that have fractions. I'm sure that as soon as I said the word fraction, you got a little sad inside. Okay? Don't let fractions be scary. The key to fractions, if we are solving a problem, if there is an equal sign and you have fractions, that's a good thing. You can actually make this problem really easy. What we're going to do is identify the LCD, the least common denominator. Or in other words, we're going to look at the problem and we're going to look at the denominators. So this denominator right here is a 2, what's on the bottom of the fraction bar. And this denominator right there is 4. Okay, so 2 and 4. The least common denominator means what number does 2 and 4 both go into? What's the smallest number that 2 and 4 both go into? And the good news is it doesn't even have to be the smallest one, but we're going to pick the smallest one. What's the LCD here? What number does 2 and 4 go into? They both go into 4, because I could do 4 divided by 2 or 4 divided by 4 and get a whole number. LCD is 4. Once we've identified the LCD, then we are going to multiply everything in this problem by 4. Everything in this problem. So I'm multiplying this by 4, that by 4, that by 4, and that by 4. Okay, so look at that. I'm just going to write that out. So I'm going to do this really simple. 4 times 1, oh, that's 4 over 2x. 4 times 5, that's 20. 4 times 3, that's 12 over 4. And 4 times 4, that's 16x. And that might not seem like I made it any easier, but I did. Because by multiplying by the LCD, now I can reduce and get rid of these fractions. So for example, 4 divided by 2. Oh, that's just 2x. There's no longer a fraction here in this first part. And then 4, oh, that's already 20. 12 divided by 4. Oh, 12 divided by 4, that's 3. There's no longer a fraction here. Plus 16x. By multiplying everything by the LCD, I got rid of fractions. Now I just solved this problem, which is exactly the same as all of the problems we've solved before now. So now we just solve. Minus 2x, minus 2x. We're getting the x's on the same side. So 16 minus 2, well, that's 14x. Oh, I've got this 3 here. I want to move it to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3, subtract 3. I get 17 equals 14x. Last thing I got to do is get x by itself. How do I get rid of that 14? Since it's being multiplied by 14, I divide by 14. So it is 17 divided by 14. That is my answer. Let's keep going. Letter F. Boom. We look at this problem. There's fractions. Ugh. There's an equal sign. Yay. Fractions and equal signs, I can get rid of them by identifying the LCD. Again, the LCD means what number do all of these denominators go into? So I just need to pick a number that every denominator, 3, 2, 6, 2. I need a number that all of those numbers go into. Well, what number does 3, 2, and 6 all go into? The answer is 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to multiply every part of this problem by 6. So 6 times that, 6 times that, 6 times that, 6 times that. So let's do that. So that would be 6 times 2, which would be 12. I don't multiply the denominator, it's just the numerator. Because remember, it's like 6 over 1. So I just go 6, boom, there. 6 over 2. 42. 6 times 7, that's 42. Over 6. And then 6x over 2. Once I've multiplied that out, now I can reduce. 12 divided by 3, that's 4. 6 divided by 2, that's 3. 42 divided by 6, it's 7. 6 divided by 2, it's 3. Now that I've done it, no more fractions. Yay for us. Now it's just getting stuff on the same side. Here's a 3x, here's a 4x. So let's move them to the same side. I'm going to subtract 3x. X minus 3 equals 7. I want to get rid of that negative 3, so I'm going to add it over. X equals 10, done. You will get better at that as you go. Okay, maybe you're great at it already, but that is something that you'll continue to get better at it the more we do. Again, multiplying, when you see fractions in an equal sign, multiply by the LCD. It makes the problem a whole lot easier. Now let's get to the back side. This will be your favorite side because it's about story problems. We all know you love story problems. They make you happy. Let's do it. You have $55 to buy DVDs that cost $12 each. This problem's a little bit old. No one really buys DVDs anymore. I got to make this newer. It's got to be about Netflix now. You have $55 to buy DVDs and they cost $12 each. Write an equation for how much money you have left after buying X discs. All right. So how much money we have left. Okay. So it's going to be equal to, how much money is left. That's what I'm going to make this equal to. Okay, we could give it a letter. We could say like, oh, how much money is left? We could call it Y if we wanted to. That's great. We could call it whatever we wanted. But how much money is left? That's what's going over here. I just gave it the letter Y. I don't know what that is. I don't want to call it X because we're saying X represents discs here. I just gave it a letter. So I said Y. All right. You have $55. So let's start off with $55. They cost, and you're going to buy DVDs that cost $12 each. Well, if you want to figure out how much money you have left and you started with 55, what are you going to do with those DVDs? Okay, every time you buy one, you have to pay money. You're losing money. You're subtracting money. So it's going to be 55 minus $12 each. And what that each means is it's $12 for every DVD. So every DVD, I'm going to multiply it by 12 because the first DVD cost 12. Well, if I buy 2 DVDs, now it's $24. If I buy 3 DVDs, now it's $36. And so my equation is going to look like this: $55 minus 12x, because x represents how many DVDs I bought. There's my equation. 55 minus 12x is going to tell me how much money is left, and I just called it the letter y. So my next part says, how much would you have left after you bought 4 DVDs? Well, we just wrote an equation for that. 55 minus 12. I'm buying 4 DVDs, so what's the 4 going to go in for? Oh yeah, the 4 goes in for x, because that's how many DVDs I bought. So I'm figuring out how much I would have left. That's y. Y means how much money is left. Boom. All right, so it's going to be 55 minus 48. 55 minus 48, it is $7 left. So after I bought 4 DVDs, I would have $7 left. There's other ways of doing it, but that's the most straightforward way. Writing an equation and then plugging in. You want to buy a $499 iPad. You have saved $230 so far. How many hours would you have to work to buy that iPad if you make $9 per hour? All right. So in a problem like this, they are giving me a total. Okay, that $499 represents the goal. That's how much money I need. I need a total of $499. So if they do that, make that one side of the equal sign. So the one side is going to be $499. That's my total. Well, what's going to go into that total? The total is going to be equal to, well, how much I've saved already. How much money have I saved? Well, I've saved $230. But obviously that's not enough. I got to take that money I've saved plus my work money. Well, how much money do I make if I work? Well, I get $9 per hour, or each. $9 every hour. I could use X. I used H here. That way we knew what it meant. But I get $9 every hour. So for the first hour, I got $9. For the second hour, I get $18 because I worked for 2 separate hours. But this equation right there is going to figure out how many hours I have to work to buy the iPad. To solve it, I got to figure out how many hours. So I'm going to solve here. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract. We haven't done this yet. I brought this up at the very beginning, and I just haven't had an example like this. When we're solving, we're getting h by itself. We want to add or subtract first. So the first thing we're going to do is subtract this 230 because it's being added on. Okay, this is what I'm trying to get by itself. So the first thing I did is I got rid of this 230. I got all the numbers on the same side. So I subtracted 230. So 499 minus 230, that's going to get me a 9. I need $269 more dollars. That's what I got to make working. And so the next thing I got to do is divide. It's 9 times h. Well, we just added or subtracted. Now I'm trying to multiply or divide. So I need to divide by 9 on both sides. So my hour is going to be equal to whatever I get when I take 269 divided by 9. So you could break out your calculator here, and all you're going to do is type in 269 divided by 9. It tells me I need to work 29.88. Let's round. $29.89. That's not money. Silly goose. I did something weird. It's 29.89 hours. That's time. It's not money. It's 29.89 hours, or obviously 30 hours. Just pay attention to what they tell you to round to. I'll be pretty clear as to what you need to round to. But about 30 hours is how much I'm going to have to work. How much would you have left to save if you work for 15 hours? So $499 is going to be equal to that $230 plus $9, and they tell me the time I've got here. They told me my H. They told me my hours. So right here, I'm going to plug in 15. So I want to know how much is left of the total. That's kind of our ultimate goal here. So basically, how much money have I made? So 9 times 15, this is $230 plus 9 times 15. That gets me 135. I add these two things together. I get 365. This is how much money I would have made after 15 hours. What would I need to do to figure out how much would I have left to make? Well, we would subtract from the total. Remember what the total is. It's this plus some amount more. That's the mystery. That needs to be equal to $499. Okay, we could call this X, but that's how much money I have left to make to get to $499. So if I wanted to figure that out, we subtract by 365. So $499 minus 365. If I've worked for 9 hours or 15 hours, I would still have $134 left to make. Hope that makes sense. Hope that recorded well. You've got another video here. I know it's a long lesson. Some of this stuff you already know, I hope. But if not, ask questions and let's see what you can do. Thanks, guys.